Hey guys, Strongwoman Nadia Stowers here, and I have the honor of kicking off today's episode of World's Strongest Fan. Hope you enjoy.
Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. Today we kick off with strongwoman Nadia Stowers, working on her bench press with a new 2-rep personal record. The weight, 143 kilos or 315 pounds. Next up it's Zach Hill, also hitting a personal best and also for 2 reps. That's 210 kilos or 463 pounds from him. We now join Andrew Cooper out in Australia. There goes 260 kilos or 573 pounds for 2 reps. Next up and also training bench, it's Daniel Rajov, 265 kilos or 585 pounds. Next up though, and taking today's king of the bench press, it's powerlifter Julius Maddox, 306 kilos or 675 pounds like it was nothing. We now move into some overhead pressing, and first up on the loaded dumbbell it's Ragnhildur Jónasdóttir with 51 kilos or 112 pounds. Next up it's Dean Maiden, training out in Serious Strength Gym. There's 80 kilos or 176 pounds from him. Up next it's Ervin the T-Rex Singleton. He's training on a circus dumbbell. This was a set of 5, this is the last rep, 100 kilos or 220 pounds. Next up it's Erin Murray, she's training on a block press today. The weight of that, 77 kilos or 170 pounds. Following on from her, it's Sean Gillen, also training block, with 140 kilos or 308 pounds. Next up we join Chris Harper, this time on the log press. It's the under 80 kilo world record, 147.4 kilos or 325 pounds, using a split jerk technique and getting it under control. Here's a lift from Josh Cloherty, competing last weekend at Static Monsters. The weight of that log, 160 kilos or 352 pounds. Following on from him and also lifting that weight, this time on a wooden log, it's Tom Place, looking really strong and got a really good technique. Next up we join Keith Hammer, also training log, this one 181 kilos or 400 pounds. He leans back but gets his head through for a good lift. Following on from him, it's Spencer Remick, a really strong overhead presser, showing what he can do today for 3 reps with 181 kilos or 400 pounds. We now move into some squatting, and first up it's powerlifter Jessica Bittner with 215 kilos or 474 pounds. Following on from her, it's another powerlifter. Here is Luke Tolman, going for 2 reps with a pause. The weight today, 295 kilos or 650 pounds. Following on from him, it's Alex Simon out in Australia with a high bar squat, 300 kilos or 661 pounds on the bar. Here's a lift from strongman Graham Hicks. He's doing a front squat today. The weight, 310 kilos or 683 pounds. Following on from him, it's Dan Grigsby in competition, squatting 365 kilos or 804 pounds for a good lift. But up next and taking today's king of the squat, it's powerlifter Jesus Olivares with 463 kilos or 1,020 pounds, and he rounds out the first half of today's video.
Turn. Turn. Come on. Turn. Come on, a bit more, Shane. Come on.
Now we're back again and we kick off with the deadlift section. First up it's Hafthor Bjornsson, getting ready for 2024, looking to make a comeback to strongman. The weight today, 315 kilos or 695 pounds for 4 reps. Following on from him, it's Alan Razak with his new personal best. The weight, 345 kilos or 760 pounds on the bar. Next up, we join Josh Cloherty. He's back, it's Static Monsters, and the weight is 347 kilos or 765 pounds on an axle from a height of 18 inches. Following on from him, it's Timmy Diesel, pulling on a kabuki deadlift bar. The weight, 358 kilos or 790 pounds. Following on from him, it's Ervin Toots out in Estonia. Here goes 370 kilos or 815 pounds. Next up, it's Lee Croker, also pulling a deadlift today, 380 kilos or 838 pounds. Here's a lift from powerlifter Ken Cooper, 397.5 kilos or 876 pounds. Following on from him and pulling in a sumo stance with a pause, it's Jamal Browner, 400 kilos or 882 pounds. Next up and also pulling that weight, this time the first person in France, it's Aurélien Lejeune, an awesome lift from him today. Next up, we're out in South Africa and we catch up with Dean Shelley, pulling 400 kilos or 882 pounds. Following on from him at the same show, it's Rain O'Neill. He is only 27 years old. That's an awesome lift from him. Next up, we're at Static Monsters. This time it's Ryan Vance, pulling 415 kilos or 915 pounds on an axle from a height of 18 inches. That is the joint Masters World Record shared with Big Z. But up next and taking today's King of the Deadlift, it's Fernando Arias, pulling 427.5 kilos or 942.5 pounds. Now next up, I've got some competition news. First up, it's the podium for this year's World's Strongest Teen. The winner, Connor Brady, so congratulations to him. Next up, we've got the World's Strongest Under 23. This year's winner, Sebastian Helland. Congrats goes to him also. Next up, we've got the podium for this year's Island Strongest Man. The winner, Sean Gillen. Hopefully Sean gets an invitation to a Giants live show. We now move out to America and we catch up with America's Strongest Woman, Angelica Jardine. An awesome competition and great to see a new champion. Next up, I've got the podium for America's Strongest Man 2023. This year's winner, Lucas Hatton. A great showing from him. Let's hope he gets opportunities to compete at some other large shows. Now seeing us out today, it's Shane German. Shane normally competes at under 90 kilos. Today, pulling 330 kilos or 727.5 pounds for 3 reps. Anyway guys, that's it from me today. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up and hit subscribe. And I'll catch you again as always on the next one.
Go.